Hi everyone, how's everyone going? So we're here to speak about celebrating representation and equal opportunities for women with NFTs. I'm Natacha and I'm the co-founder of Artists Collective, a Web3 project that aims at empowering new and upcoming artists in Web3. And I'll let you guys introduce each other and then we can speak about our experience as women, but also in like women-led projects connected to that topic.
Yeah, so my name is Ravin, I'm from the Netherlands. I have an IT company and we help this women project with all the back-end stuff. So that's the reason why I'm here. The co-founder is a woman, but she couldn't be here, so they asked me to be here. And one of the reasons for me to help this project was that I'm a father of 2 daughters, raised by a single mother. So that's why I'm at this panel to represent this project in celebrating inclusivity and supporting women.
Hi. My name is Begona Toledo, although most people know me as BOXHEAD. That's the name of the character that I represent in all of my artworks. I'm an artist and a fashion designer. I entered the NFT space in February 2021, so I've been seeing all the ups and downs. I come from the traditional art world. I was a street artist for most of my career, and I kind of like a negative thing happening in my career where I was promised the world by a very renowned art person. I'm not gonna name any names. And it was thanks to NFTs that I was able to reclaim my position in the art world. And yeah, I'm very thankful for it.
Hi everyone, I'm Baobaotoshi. I'm a community builder. I think my husband introduced me to the NFT world, and I'm lucky he got my first NFT on Mfer that is created by Sadhoe, and it's an incredible community to be part of. Yeah, I'm from Canada.
So I think we all have like a, is my mic on? Yeah. I think we all have some fair like month experience in that Web3 space, as a lot of people here, I'm sure. So I wanted to know, what was your experience in terms of like representation and opportunities for women, as women and also as like being the partner of a woman-led project in that Web3 space? What has been your experience so far?
Yeah, should I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
So what we experienced was like, it was when we started with the project, what we saw is that you get like such a great community in a very fast way, like-minded people who want to help in the project, help with the social media, help with the Discord channel, all the technical things, but also the artwork and also the mission. Yeah, and I think that was one of the nicest things that we experienced. And the downfall of it was that our Twitter account exploded, so you need to respond to all those questions of people wanting to do a collaboration or help in some kind of way. But I think the main thing is in the NFT world you have like a saying, "Walk me." It's meaning we're all gonna make it, and I think that that sentence really says it all for the NFT projects. It's like a nice community to be in, and everybody is open and willing to help each other in some kind of form.
My experience has been, very much similar in the sense that Web3, the way we are building it, is very much aimed at creating a community, a really tight community, really quickly or very easily, let's say. As a woman, I didn't think of my gender from day one. I'm sure that a lot of women here have had experience being assumed a man before proven differently, right? Where you like called sir or bro on DMs and you're like, actually not a man. So it's been quite an interesting experience to kind of like reaffirm my gender identity through the Web3 space. And it's just been really easy and satisfying to be able to align myself with other women, which I think maybe in the traditional art world is not as easy. But I think that has more to do with the online presence of the Web3 community. And yeah, I think it's the perfect setup for any group of people that wants to get a voice. And yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, I was gonna ask actually. I was curious to know as a traditional, also like physical artist, did you see any difference in terms of how you were represented as a woman from like the traditional art world via the Web3 kind of NFT world?
Yeah, we spoke about this. It's interesting because what I was saying is that if I lacked opportunities because I was a woman in the traditional art world, I wasn't aware of it. I think like things happen more in the background, while maybe because we're so online and so present all the time, you're more aware of when you're being discriminated. Maybe, I don't know, I can think more of like just a few situations where maybe people didn't listen to me, or I don't know. But yeah, it's very different, but again, I think it has to do more with the fact that we are online so much.
Okay, so I actually feel women have been left behind in the first, in Web 1 and Web 2 space, and right now we have the opportunity to change that. So at the beginning, NFT is hard to understand. I felt overwhelmed. I don't really know what's going on. I don't know what about it. I don't really want to step into a world I don't know. But I'm lucky I got brainwashed from my husband. And I got to know a little bit about NFT, and I got into a Mfer community. Everyone has been supportive and welcoming. It's a game changer for me. And but I did realize it's hard for me to speak up in a male-dominated space, and sometimes it's just hard to, vibe with a group of guys, or maybe they are talking about something. It's really kind of high end, and you don't understand. You feel you are afraid of asking some stupid questions. So with my husband's suggestion, I started to do space with other female MFers. And we can talk about anything we want. It can be really random topic, like mental health, or just complaining about our boyfriend, husband, and then we can vibe for hours and in the space. I think that's great. And for sure, we are always there, help each other. If you want more information, we can share in the group. I think that's great.
Yes, I want to add something to that. Yeah. Because I agree, in the Web 1, Web 2, it was, the boundaries were higher to start, but the technical things in Web 3 enables like a small boundary, and everybody can enter this space with your project or what your mission is, and it makes it much easier because you don't need a lot of money to start something in the NFT world, and it's a quick way of finding like people with the same mindset, the same mission, in helping each other further. Like, for instance, in the beginning, we helped them with the technical part, but now they found another woman who's also a data engineer, and she can also write codes. So she's now doing the other stuff that we were supposed to do. And so you see that's the nice thing, I think, of the blockchain and the NFT technology, that it helps you in starting something together and helping each other further.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. And actually, it's funny because I was speaking to a lot of women, not necessarily in Web3. And I was asking them, like, what is preventing you from getting into Web3? Like, because for sure, we're all curious creatures. So what is actually preventing you? And a lot of answers that I got was like, oh, but I'm not a tech person. I'm not a tech guy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, like it is about tech, but it's also about communities. It's also about culture. And it's also about like creating a better future and a better inclusive future. And as founder of our project, Artist Collective, which is a woman-led project, what we're doing is empowering new and upcoming artists. We didn't necessarily target a woman, but funny enough, like 80% of our community is women. We did partner with a lot of woman-led projects to do Twitter spaces, and we found a lot of beauty actually in those Twitter spaces. I can see Caroline and Sarah in the audience, part of our community, and taking part of those Twitter spaces with other women-led projects really reaffirms the need that more women should come to that industry without any fears, and just start and just come and jump in a Twitter space to share their thoughts, share their projects. And what I found as well is that women are also taking part in shaping the culture of tomorrow. From now, it was very much male dominated, and also, with a lot of male energy behind the work and hustle culture, which is great in a way. But I think that women also have, their part of the culture to bring. And that's what we've been speaking about in the Twitter spaces, like how to shape the world culture, because technology is going to prevail, and we need to make sure also that our mental health is protected and that we work in a way that is sustainable and healthy for not only our project, but also for humanity and, in the future. So in everything you do, I know you have a lot of like social and impactful ideas. How are you like bringing your communities together of like women, if any?
So let me think what they did. One of the things that they did was Discord is like a very good channel, but you also see that most of the members of the project, they find Discord a little bit, it's too much, it looks too technical and a little bit boring. So you see that now we are having like online meetings, like via Zoom, meeting each other, and also in real life. So we went, I think 3 months ago, they also went to New York. They had like a session there with Brown Girl Magazine also. So you see that the Web3 thing is also enabling like the real life meetings with each other. And I think that combination is really strong in building that community, seeing each other also in real life and not only in the Web3 world.
I'm involved in some groups that are trying to help especially Spanish-speaking women, especially from South America, just to, especially with like technical things and maybe like translating a lot of the Web3 terms that they don't have a proper translation in Spanish, and for some people that is a barrier. I did want to comment on something that you were talking about before, because it just made me think of like, when I studied art in university, and 70% of the students in my faculty were women, which was amazing. Yeah. And then as we grew older, I remember seeing like mostly the men that were in my group made it as artists, and the women just kind of like, I guess like society, we still, even in like Western society, we still kind of like very attached, or not attached, more like, we still kind of become mothers, and then things become harder, you can't work. And also in the traditional world, traditional art world, there's so many gatekeepers, right? There's so many barriers that you have to break, and it's time. And I've seen so many mothers joining the NFT space, because they could just do it from home, which is amazing. And these are very basic things, but that actually, when you extrapolate it to, hundreds of thousands or millions of women, that makes a huge difference of like, the entry into the art world, talking, as an artist, obviously, is so much easier now. And so much, you have so much more power than in the real world, let's say.
Yeah, like I said, I do space with other female MFers, and also I do space in other languages because I speak Mandarin. I do space for the people who have language barriers, but they want to catch up in the space, but they have a hard time to understand what's going on here, what's going on Twitter or North America, because the region difference, language difference. Yeah, that's what I do. And I think everyone has a seat in the Web3 table. You don't have to be an artist, you don't have to be a dev. You can just to be a normal person, and you can be a community builder like me, and you can bring your marketing skills and consumer behavior skills to the Web3. Yeah.
Thank you. And what do you think are like the opportunities that lay ahead of us in terms of, celebrating even more representation and giving more equal opportunities for women with NFTs in general?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think the opportunities are everywhere. Like a lot of people are thinking, oh, you need to be into the tech thing, or you need to be an artist or a creator. But I think a lot of the sectors that we are currently living in, if you look like music or ticketing system, or I think everything that is being registered is going to be changed by the whole NFT industry. So you don't have to be an artist or something to start with NFTs. All those sectors are going to be changed by NFT technology, everything that's being registered.
Yeah, I think the main opportunity is that one of breaking barriers, right? Like just how much Web3 will allow to for women to enter the art world or the business world, just without with less gatekeeping, I would say.
I think, so as us, we're already in the Web3 world. We already know a little bit about NFT. As many of you in the audience, we should provide more education resources for the newcomers to Web3. It's very important. Like before, I didn't really know anything. I searched online, I felt overwhelmed. I don't really understand. Even I search online, it's hard for me to understand. If we have more education resources, that will be great for them to, get a better idea about Web3 and NFT.
Thank you. Yeah, and what do you think we can actually do in order to, ignite more, like maybe women or even men leaderships, and to bringing even more women, but like in a sense of ease to the Web3 space and NFTs?
Yeah. Sorry, I'm going to jump on this. I'm just going to tell an anecdote. Somebody made a list of the best top 50 Spanish artists in NFTs, and I remember seeing the list, and there were 7 women out of 50.
Wow.
And 7. And so obviously, like, I messaged them, and I was like, what's going on here? Like, this is ridiculous. And they came saying, it's just really hard to know, the gender, but it's not really. And then I reacted to it by tweeting, hi, Spanish-speaking female artist, share your work with us. And I got 300 responses within 2 days. Wow. And I was like, and I shared it to that person. I was like, look, it's that easy. So whenever you create anything within the Web3 space, just keep in mind inclusivity. If you're making a list of artists and then suddenly you realize that only 1% of them are women, maybe you need to expand your horizons a little bit more. And I think that's the way. Last night, drinking some wines, we talked about...
a lot of wine, we drank it.
We talked about, it's kind of sad that at this time in history, we still need panels like this, right? Like, ideally, we just get to a point where we don't need to sit here celebrating us, like, by being here, and instead just literally celebrating us. And so I think that's the goal, and we need everybody involved, not just women,
Just to jump on that, thank you, it's brilliant. And I agree, we don't we're all hoping for a time where those kind of panels, are a different subject. But I also believe that a lot of us women maybe have some kind of preconceived limiting beliefs that are actually blocking us, to maybe create an NFT project or create anything in the Web3, because, there's those beliefs that are blocking us in a way. So I think, by creating those communities of women, we create then some kind of foundational support, and all the women entering these communities, can see, it's actually possible, and can be held by other women who actually said yeah, it's feasible, but it's also easy in a way. You know what I mean? There are some challenges, but it's really about, that kind of supportive community foundation that I think will help just this movement of thought of freedom in a way.
Yeah, and I think, so it's women helping women, of course, but I also know that if you just ask, I know that there are a lot of guys, who also are willing to support and help, and I think that is also one of the things to keep in mind. Just ask, and I know that a lot of men-held companies or projects are also willing to support. Yeah.
Can I say how funny it is that there's sperm confetti on the table in front of us?
And actually, speaking of opportunities, what about challenges? I know we're have 5 minutes in front of us, but did you face any challenges as women in the Web3 space with your experience, or maybe Presilla, your partner?
Yeah, I think it's also, because I think it's also common in the NFT world. You have also a lot of people who provide services or want to help, but then they are not true to heart. So I think that is, but I think you have that in every industry. But I think that because it is so anonymous sometimes, yeah, there are a lot of scams also. So I think that is something to take care of if you are working with partners who are docs, like showing their face. Just be aware of that, because I know that in this project also a lot of time, energy, and money was lost by this, by just giving your trust out there.
You're not alone. Oh yeah. Do you want to go quickly and then we'll ask question? Maybe.
I think I'm not aware of having had difficulties because of my gender. I think I'm privileged enough that I was, I'm in a position where the world that I live, the society that I live, hasn't put those difficulties in front of me. But I do know that there's many other places in the world where women, don't have the same privileges. And yeah, I just feel like I would be, I wouldn't be true if I said that I had it hard because I'm a woman in this space. The only difficulty is just like making sure that people don't assume I'm a man, and I get really angry. That's like, oh, come on, guys. But otherwise, I feel like, if anything, I just felt more and more empowered by this space.
Yeah, I feel everyone has faced some challenges at some point. It's not only a woman, but I'm really proud of, I got lots of support and help from my community and Mfer community, and also other people in Web3, and I think we can do better. And we don't have to be an expert here, and we are all together, and we are all learning, and we can help each other.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, I also want to add to that. Like, it's helping each other, and it's also like fun. It's really fun. Just contact and work with each other, and you will see that it will just start growing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Natacha.
Anyone has any question? We have a bit of time left.
2 minutes left. Comments?
Yes. So
I agree.
Yeah, that's what we talked yesterday about.
Yeah, I agree, 100%. I appreciate that I'm here, sitting on this panel, obviously. Like, I met these 3 amazing people. We've become friends, we hung out before the panel, but I wasn't happy. What I wanted to talk about was my story, how I came here, how I kind of overcame a big struggle in my career through NFTs, and I was put in this panel just because I'm a woman, which for me, I still appreciate it, but I think that if we really want to celebrate women, we should just give them spaces the same as we give them to men, without having to classify them. That's yeah, we will get there. I'm sure we'll get there. I mean, fingers crossed.
But I think, just to add on your point, I agree with what you're saying. But on the other side, I think it can also empower women, with that kind of limiting belief in a way, because we don't know where each of us come from. Maybe we're conditioned in a certain way. Maybe we can't see opportunities as others. Maybe we don't feel empowered so much. And this is why I believe, at least from what I saw, in my experience, that having those type of women and female-led communities really help just in that terms of empowerment. It's not about like think like a man or we want to be like stronger than men or whatever, but just really that sense of like sisterhood like in my experience at least, that confirms to the other ladies, yeah, it's possible. Just go for it, empower yourself. You have the skills, the talent, the curiosity. Just go for it. Like the Web3 space is a massive jungle with like no barriers. You have the power like to go for it. So I think it's really just about those like communities, in my personal opinion, that can empower women maybe who feel not less, but who feel disempowered, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I agree 100% with you, by the way. It's more about the fact that instead of actually giving voice to these communities of women, they may, we are in a space talking about it, but not actually talking about it. It's just a bit surreal, but I hope this is somehow inspirational for other women. Like in my case, that's the only thing that I can do is just be like, hey, I'm here, things are going great. I hope I can inspire other women from all over the world to just join us in